Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode on bash commands with Raspberry Pi and Unix-like systems. So in this episode we are going to have a look at different editors. So we will just have a look at simple text editors. We are not actually going to have a look at a lot of IDEs for writing our code. So there are various editors available with Debian distributions and we are going to install the most famous of them. So let us go ahead and install. Sudo apt install is the command, and then we have to mention the names of the packages. The first one is vi, then vim, then nano. We have already seen how the nano works, but for the sake of maintaining the list of all the editors, I am also mentioning nano here. Leafpad. So the first three editors, vi, vim, and nano, they are command line based editors, and rest of them are text based or GUI based editors. Then again we have gedit, mousepad, kwrite, kate, gedit, and -y is yes for everything. So if I hit enter, it is going to check if all these editors are already installed. Okay, so I guess vi it is not able to locate. So I'm just going to remove that vi entry here and let's enter. So for the preparation of this video lecture, I had already installed all the editors here. And let us have a look at all of them one by one. So the very first is vim or vi. So this is a very simple editor and it is available by default in most of the Unix-like operating systems. And I'm actually not going to use it because using it is very, very difficult. I personally find it difficult. There are many geeks who find it very easy. So I'm just going to quit. Similarly, an improved version of vi is vim. I'm also going to quit from that. Then there is simple one, nano. And we have already seen how nano works in the earlier episode, so I'm not going to repeat that. Now we have other editors. The very first one in the list is gedit. So it is telling me unable to init server, could not connect, connection refused, warning, cannot open display. This is because this is a GUI based text editor and it cannot be invoked from command prompt in the current configuration. So for that we have to enable the X11 forwarding, and I think that it is enabled by default, but even if it is not enabled, I will tell you how to enable it. So sudo nano /etc/ssh/sshd config is the name of the file. And if I hit enter, we are in that file in the editing mode. So note that I have used sudo command to open this file because it is not going to allow you to write any data into that as a normal user. So there are a couple of options that we need to enable. So hash means that option is commented out or it is disabled. So we just need to remove the hash symbol from that option. So here we have X11 forwarding. We have removed the hash and we have turned yes. Okay, so earlier I think it was no, and then we have just like removed that no and mentioned yes here. So it is allowing us X11 forwarding. Now let us see what is there. What else we need to enable? Okay, I don't think that we have to enable anything else. We just need to say X11 forwarding to yes, okay? And that's it. And we can just go ahead and save it. So it was enabled even before we actually opened it, because for the preparation of this video lecture, I had to enable it for some testing. Still, we are not actually able to open that utility, gedit, or we are not actually able to open any graphical user based utility. This is because we need to have some sort of X11 server running on our current system. So I have got a very good solution for this entire problem. So we can just go ahead and use something like MobaXterm. It has got the X terminal as well as a built-in X server. So we don't have to open a separate program. So I'm going to say start a local command. Okay, so let us close that earlier window, and this is the local command. So let us log into our system. And we have logged into the local system. And here we have the X server running already. And if you actually hover your mouse pointer over this, X server is running is what it is going to say. And if you try to click it, it is going to say, are you sure you want to stop X server and all its running clients? So we really don't want to do that. So I'm just going to say no. And let us try to do yes. Let us stop X server. Okay, the X server is stopped and oh, it still says that it is running. Okay, so now it says that X server is stopped and click here to start it. Let us restart it. So I think that it will take a moment to start it. Okay, now it is started again. So this is how we can start and stop the X server program, which is embedded within the process of this MobaXterm. Otherwise, you will have to download and install a program known as Xming, and it is actually kind of cumbersome. Sometimes it works, sometimes I think that it doesn't work. So out of that 90% it works, and 10% sometimes actually it doesn't show the right results. So this X server embedded within MobaXterm is a very good program. So you really don't have to do anything. You just need to enable the X11 forwarding in the target operating system, and X server is running by default. Whenever you are going to open an instance of this MobaXterm, it will launch a sub process of X server. So don't worry. Now we are going to open the LeafPad, LeafPad, and it is going to open a text editor LeafPad. So this is the LeafPad text editor. Now let us say gedit. So it will take some time for the program to show us some sort of graphical output. So mind it that all these programs are running on Raspberry Pi. We are just forwarding the GUI using the X11 forwarding. Okay, we have a local X server running, and Raspberry Pi is forwarding all the GUI running on that to our local computer. Now let's open the mousepad, MOUSEPAD. So this is the mousepad text editor. We are going to experiment with all these text editors while writing the shell scripts. So don't worry about all of them as of now. We will have plenty of opportunities to practice our skills. So this is the kwrite. So sometimes actually it is going to show you some sort of error message in the console. Don't worry about it. Now we also have kate, Kate. So it will take a moment for the program to open. So here we have Kate running on Raspberry Pi. And finally, we are going to see gedit. It is basically a Java based editor. So as soon as you see the GUI, you will immediately understand it has been totally designed using the Swing graphical user interface library of Java. So in case you have worked with Java earlier, you will immediately understand that it is using Swing. So someday, if the time permits, I will also upload the episodes on Java and Swing and image processing using Java. Don't worry about it. So it is taking a moment for it to open that gedit. So we will have to be patient. Okay, so this is the gedit window, and this is the GUI using this Swing. Okay, so all these are Swing styles. So we can even have file system browser here, I guess. And all these things are running on the Raspberry Pi system. And here we have the file system browser. Okay, so we can open other files like text.txt. We just need to double click on those files, I think. Okay, so it is showing us the contents of those files, and it is also showing us the line numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to close this. So in this entire episode, we have seen how to enable the X11 forwarding on our Linux or Unix-like system. And then we saw what is an X server and how to use X11 forwarding to see the GUI applications running on Raspberry Pi on our local computer from which we are remotely connecting to the Raspberry Pi using some sort of SSH utility. So I hope that you have understood all the concepts. Thanks a lot for watching this episode. Do let me know if you have any questions or comments about this session or this episode in the comment section down below. In case you want to find all the code that I'm using in this, you can check the description section below where I have mentioned the URL to the document that I have uploaded on my GitHub repository. Thanks a lot for watching this video lecture, and I will see you next time.